such an asshole.
All right. I found an image and I lifted it from the Texting Prince, and it was so good. So I linked to the article he had below. It's pretty freaking funny. So hat tip to the Texting Prince. Hopefully he'll allow me to use it, but it was the perfect image. I don't even know about the Texting Prince. You know, we only have like this section of the internets. It's like, oh, there's other people doing other stuff. Cool. Anonymous writes, hi, Aaron, just a short request. Has social media made hypergamy worse? Yes. Good night, everybody. You need to ask? How significantly has social media affected it? I have a lot of friends that are in their early to mid 30s, some of whom are married, and they say that dating for my age range, 20s today, isn't even comparable to how it was when they were in their prime. They're mostly active just right before when social media took off. What do you think? Video response, let me know the price. So they're 100% correct. I even tapped out before online dating. Someone paid me to do Tinder. That was a waste of time. Well, it wasn't a waste of time. They paid me. We did kind of the last thing I did was speed dating, where only half the girls that were in attendance were single, but the guy paid the girls to show up. That way there'd be more guys to show up who actually would spend the money. And that should have, that was a while ago. So that's my own personal experience. But obviously having clients, having friends, people in the field, it is now common knowledge. It's the group opinion, or the, what do they call it? Consensus. It's the consensus that before social media hit, Tinder and other online dating was effective. Men had a lot of success. I even, there was, who was it I was talking to? Jack. It was Jack Napier, Red Evening. He was talking about how he would get a lot more girly pics, texting, email, whatever else, 10 years ago. Like, that's funny you mentioned that, because there's been more than one lady who, well, we had, it's the same thing with guys too. Old school people are going to remember this. A lot of you guys know I have got, back in the past, I should add it up, I got probably just as many dick pics and offer from gay guys as I did girls who like sent in lingerie or outright nudes or whatever else have you. But that's, you got to hat tip the gay guys. They put in the work. They're aggressive. They'll ask, even though they know you're not straight. Hey, if it ever, yeah, thank you. But even that ended like 10 years ago. It's been a long time. But there was like, what the hell's going on? This is why I wasn't on the like YouTube. I wasn't as big. I don't think even, yeah, Asshole Consulting ain't even 10 years old. This is from blogging, now that I think about it. So using that as a as a proxy, yes, there was a heyday, a golden era where the online dating apps worked. I would also say it's a younger generation or older generation back then. Women probably like men a little bit more. They're not liking them more now. They're liking men less. That's the general trend it's going. So yeah, there was a heyday, a golden era where online dating and meeting through the internet worked. And then everyone's universal consensus, the consensus has been that once the social media and Facebook or InstaChat or all the different platforms, I even remember a kid who was becoming of age around that time telling me about, I'm like, what is that? Oh, it allows you to send nudes, but it deletes. Why are you sending nudes? Shut up, I'm an adult. Anyway, so that expansion allowed, yeah, and that was the blow up. And then there was, where paleontologists go back, and here's where the dinosaur fossil ends. Here's where the big explosion was, and it ends, and it ended. And now online dating has manifested itself into essentially a temple of worship for women, and is no longer what it was originally, and that was a dating platform or a hookup app. And we even see it more modernly. I think it was in the past year. I used to recommend Seeking Arrangement. Never used it. Don't know. I'm just saying, go pay for it. And I always thought Seeking Arrangement was that thing. That is no longer a pay for play site. That is a dating site now. They've officially made it a dating site. And so you've seen this Overton's window, this migration in a post social media world where online dating is practically ineffective, to the point that nearly the consensus now is do in-person dating, ask a girl in person. Online dating is largely a mess. So it's social media, but most active. They were mostly active just before, right, when social media took off. What do you think? So we have that anecdotal evidence, but I want to introduce some numbers, because you can look up more numbers in the book of Numbers here. But it doesn't really necessarily focus on the timeline, the longitudinal study of response rates online and all that. It just took a snapshot in time a year ago, which is no different really than today. So it didn't look back. But let me pull up some real quick numbers. I couldn't find these are all from off of memory. Disprove me somewhere out there. But if we go back in the Neanderthal days and running around with spears and loincloths, they went back, and it also depended on whether there was war, whether Europe was going on, Roman, all this other stuff. So this is a moving target. But they look through the human genome, and roughly only 40% of men's genes have been passed on. And I believe correctly, if I'm correct, 80% of women's genes are passed on. Now, this is going back in Neanderthal, old school Roman Empire, knights and swords days. I know there were harems. I know that Abraham had a lot of wives. I get it. And there might have been reasons for that. But in short, a minority of men passed on their genes, and the majority of women did, indicating that the baseline reality is women. You could almost say this, maybe pound for pound, women are twice as valuable as men to society overall of human time on average. All right. Then more recently, and I think it was 2012. So, well, let's be honest. When did that OkCupid study? Was it OkCupid? Because time flies, and it's it's evolving. A study, OkCupid, the Good Men Project. Well, when was the study? The article is recent. When was that study? So it's OkCupid. Let me look that up. 2015. All right, this is 2009. Okay, I found one that goes back to 2009. So this is 13 years ago. Latest report, the most attractive women receive 5 times any message average female does. Yeah, here it is. This is from 2009. More interested to check out the OkCupid post here. So it may even go further back. I think they may have even taken it down. We can't let people know the truth. Okay, internet, don't work at speed or anything like that. They may have taken it down. 2009. Nope, it's 2009. Okay, I could close out on that. All right, so we go from 40% long-term historical human history average. 2009, which is, social media was starting by that time. It dropped to 20% with the study where they show that 80% of men are found unattractive by women. You're below a 5 or below, 80%. So now they're only, and that just said they found you attractive. That don't mean they want to have kids with you. I just want to point that out. At least you have the genetic record to say, well, they banged. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the genetic record. So what was it? Only 10% of men, 20% of men do women want to consider physically attractive. I guess we could use that as a proxy for would bang inevitably if the stars align and you lit the right candle and are applauding you hate Trump, blah, 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 blah. All right. So there's that. Then more recently, and so like 2009, that's before Fresh and Fit. And you got to tip Fresh and Fit on this one. These are the boys that did the work. And they said Cappy, because they were younger. They were in their 20s even still. I think, yeah, Walter's still in his 20s. I say, no, it's all going onto Instagram. It's all going to social media. Dating apps are over. Facebook is for geriatrics who are about to die in the nursing home. Here's the new frontier. And it was moving fast. And even back then, I think they took the industry average saying like it was 20%. And this is like 2-3 years ago. I had Myron on my show for the first time. He's like, no, man, it's more like 15 or 10%. I'm like, oh, come on. Well, then an article came out where they did some research studies and they found out on dating apps, women only swiped right on less than 5% of men's profiles. And again, that has nothing to do with marriage or dating or anything like that. The numbers even get worse. Again, ask me how I know. But if we use that as just, a hot or not screening process, women only find 1 in 20 men, less than 1 in 20, 4%. 1 in 25, I guess, would be the more. 1 in 25, 4% of men attractive. And I think you're 100% right in your thesis or your hypothesis that social media has given women more choice, given women more attention, and consequently increased their standards to the point that it cannot be met. It will be temporarily satiated with alpha, the standard. Now we're doing the broken record of, okay, yeah, a 10 will sleep down to an 8. All the 8s are waiting for the 10. They're graced with his wonderful physical 10 body. They think they're entitled to a 10 because guys will sleep 2 lower, maybe even 3. And so women misassociate sex with commitment. They think that they had sex with me. We're boyfriend, girlfriend now. He's mine. I can get him. Or maybe not. Thus, the Chad breaks up with them. All men are scum. And like, well, you only dated these guys. That's all men. And that's the rest of you are wallpaper, your background noise. All men are scum, blah, 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 blah. And we're only going to settle for that. But yes, we'd have to do a study. We'd have to go in, but it's the only major variable that has changed us specifically in the realm of dating. And it kind of, I don't know what else it could possibly be. We all started going online. Online dating became a thing. Social media was then introduced on the backside of online dating, although it kind of was there. And now women are just absolutely spoiled for choice because digitally, you know what? Let's call it the Amazon effect. Maybe I'm the only one to come up with this. I like to think I am, and everyone should attribute it to me. I'm old enough to remember where if you went into a small town, you know what? You had to buy what the local Piggly Wiggly or the Red Owl had for groceries, and then what the local Coast to Coast or Ben Franklin nickel and dime store had. Your dime store had. There was a furniture store in a small town my grandpa used to live in. There's your furniture. And unless you were willing to drive other places, that was what you could buy. Now it goes online. Where? Amazon. What can you get on Amazon? Anything you could possibly want. Except the difference is with Amazon, you can actually get it and own it. Whereas girls, the best you can do is rent it. But girls, again, they misassociate sex with commitment. And so they might get an order of Chad or Tyrone or Raphael for a day or two, but they think they own it. And then they complain because Amazon, the Amazon of the dating world on the online internet, didn't deliver him the subscription. He wasn't committed. It was just a trial period. But that's what it is. Just like we have unlimited selection of nearly everything made in the world on Amazon, women now have, men too, they have an unlimited selection of all the men in the world. And it doesn't cost men anything to send them attention. Hell, men, it may be a bot or not a bot. It may be somebody catfishing you. You just found a really good looking picture of a guy. He's wasting your time. Maybe he's sadistic. I don't know. Someone's trying to hack your account even too. It could be financial and malicious purposes. Whatever the point. All the girls only see what they want. They settle for it was top 20. Tinder now, or not Tinder. What was this? Maybe it was Tinder. It had to be Tinder. They're only swiping on 4% of guys, using that as a proxy. Yeah, it's in 15 years. It's gone from 20 to 4%. Like in another 10 years, another dozen years go by. Is it going to be the top 1%? I don't know. But now having that choice and not being able to delineate from the real world and the digital world, women are led to believe they're gay. And let's also, I've talked about this, I think it was the Book of Numbers. There's the Voltron man. And Voltron man is women are going to look for the perfect man, which not necessarily against you doing that. I mean, good luck to you. But now with so much choice, they can compartmentalize. They can have their emotional tampon. That's called you. Oh, there's the buff dumb guy who's great in bed. There's the prestigious, rich, older, middle-aged guy that can take them out for nice things and get them into the hoity-toity parties or on yachts or something. There's the intellectual guy who she doesn't really find all that attractive, but he's smart and agrees with her politics. Oh my God, you're just so intelligent. You're very amazing. And then there's, of course, your army of simps that will gladly, on the internet. God, they might even fund your money or fund your lifestyle. I'm not necessarily against that, girls. You take the money and run. But what they can do is they can get the best of all worlds. They could get variety and diversity depending on the mood they're in. They could even get pregnant if they wanted to. And so I argued that no individual man, no matter how great or perfect, can compete against Voltron man, because all these men form an undefeatable Voltron that no man could ever hold up to. And so women can kind of live synthetically or compositely, or have a love/sex/intellectual life satisfied by these cabal, or what do they call them? A bullpen of men. And until one Mr. Perfect, Mr. Big comes along, the Disney prince comes along, they're not getting out of it. There is there is maybe deep in their recesses of their mind and their soul of souls, like there's not that guy, that one guy. There's not going to be a family, but why would you leave? Why would you settle for one guy? A lot of gals don't want to get married, which introduces my latest introduction to that. Like, I don't think girls want to get married that much. I don't think girls like guys that much. Girls just want to have fun. When they get older, fine, maybe they want to settle down. But yeah, I mean, the kind of align whatever young generation of teens and 20-something girls were in there. Why would they settle down? And why would they settle for less? And here's another thing. Girls do like sex. I'm not saying they don't, but they don't like it anywhere near as guys. If given a choice, and this would be very interesting polling data, and ladies, they'll love to hear. If given the choice, ladies, be perfectly honest. Would you rather have attention just coming from the internet? And even in the form of money, let's just say, if that was, I'm not talking $1 million, but you get attention. Guys telling you you're beautiful, you're amazing. They'll send you a couple bucks and all. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have sex, knowing you have to get dressed up, you have to go out, there's a time investment on your part? I would only, like, you can have one. You can have lifelong attention, you can have sex. I think most girls would go with the attention. Obviously, there'd be girls in both camps, but I think the majority, not a big majority, but I think a majority, a sizable, like 60-65%, would choose the attention. And so if they can get attention because there's no investment and they can get from a bunch of guys, why would they? What? They're not going to pull out of that to go commit to Mortimer Snerd, reliable CPA. And then also, well, does it cost anything to get the attention? Just costs time to go on social media and all that. Well, why not get it from higher and higher quality guys? If you're not that excited about sex, well, why would you settle for a 9? You're only going to have a 10. If you go back to my latest podcast, or if you want to read the article about the shortage of black sperm, black males, there's a shortage. Black women want to have black babies. I'm like, well, why don't you go marry a black man? Whoa! Okay, you don't want to raise your kid without a dad. That works really great for the black community. Let's go there now. That's a brilliant idea. Okay, let's just assume there's going to be no fallout from that. Why don't you just have sex with a really good-looking black dude? Whoa, whoa! No, they gotta. They only want in vitro. They only want to go to the sperm bank. And when you read through how picky they are and how insistent it has to be this and it can't be that, it's like, okay, they're not going to sleep with anyone unless he's absolutely. So, what is the limit to hypergamy? What is the limit to doing better? Well, technically, there is no limit. Would you like to do better? You have $100,000. Would you like $105,000? Well, of course you would. Who wouldn't want better? And because now we have the Amazon of the dating world, online dating, social media, there is infinite. It goes to infinite. You can all have your Prince Charming. And given that women are already getting I would say their main romantic / relationship itch scratched through attention on social media and digital relationships. And they're only fractionally interested in sex, and they could probably get that. I think this is going to keep on going. I mean, maybe it'd be the 1%. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at swiping data and behavior. I mean, but it's kind of academic and mood. I think both men and women have made it to the point now. It's like, okay, we really don't like each other that much. We both agree marriage is pretty stupid. Polling data shows, especially the younger generations, the younger you are, the less women want to have kids. They're more focused on themselves and their careers and their education. That's fine. And men are kind of coming to that, realize like, oh, okay, cool. Well, we'll just go over here and jerk off to porn or play video games or whatever else. But yeah, I do believe it was social media that did, because it just showed women what was possible. Not like the odds are 60-40. It's more like, so you're telling me there's a chance kind of possible. And you can try to introduce like, well, wait, that's not likely it's going to happen. One, they're not going to listen to it. And two, that's not what they want. They're kind of getting what they want. And you guys keep saying, oh my God, look at these girls. They keep getting more and more. I'm like, yeah, wouldn't you? Do you blame them? But marriage and children, they don't want that. Once you figure that out, they don't want that unless it's with an absolute, I mean, it's their lives we're talking about here. Look at it from that other perspective. The most important thing to any person is their own damn lives. And if women can get other stuff and happiness and satisfaction out of a career, education, raising children without fathers because the father is too much of a burden. If they could get in, society endorses it, and you go, girl, and they're proud. Hell, they'll pay you money. Why wouldn't you? And if you're kind of mad about sex, but you're only going to settle for that top alpha, well, there you go. You don't have to, and you're on media, you get social media, you get social validation, you belong to a digital community. I know you guys would like to have sex in the real world. I know that would be kind of the main goal. I don't think that holds. I presume women would like to get attention in the real. Well, maybe they don't, because that's too much harassment, right? Think about it. Let's use stripping as an example. Stripping is horrible. I don't mean in a moral sense. It's like a pain in the ass for the girls. You got to go down to the physical place. There's a bunch of creepy old dudes there. You got to worry about diseases on the pole and all that, and your safety and getting stalked. The internet, they could get all the benefits of stripping through an OnlyFans account or whatever else have you, with no commute. They don't have to split the proceeds with the house or the strip club owner. It's safer. I think women prefer the digital world as opposed to the physical world, as a majority. Of course, some would like to get married and have a guy cuddle them and all that. But based on behavior, yes, I think we're, if it's not that, I would have no idea what it is, but it's pretty safe to say social media has done that, has warped, or maybe warped is the wrong word, exposed, showed, exposed, and not in a bad way. It was just showed the women's true interest in men and what they value in life. And now that they have options, and this is what they're doing. I've been more coming to like, well, okay, that's what they want, guys. You can't really change that. And maybe you should accept that as reality and correspondingly change your own expectations and behaviors. And then you guys go, but the girl side. Read this book. And I'll tell you, through other measures and metrics, this book does kind of corroborate what you would see in the online dating market. It even pulls some data from the dating market. What concerns me, we could talk about what girls find attractive, is what percentage of girls that swipe right actually end up going on a date with the guy or even texting him back. Like, so it kind of shows you it's more just for attention and they're bored. The percentage, I mean, we're talking fractions of 1% of the people they swipe do they actually go out with. Does it translate into action in the real world? And so, yeah, social media has definitely done that. I guess it just allows them to get what they want without having to go into do you want to make money without having to commute? Yeah. Same thing with girls in dating, I'd say online. Do you want to get validation or attention or whatever else it is that you derive from a digital? Yeah, without having, yeah. Well, cool. You get that, but now you don't have to hang out with the guy. Boom, there we go. We got any super chats? I mean, pick up some of Rolo's stuff. He's he's not wrong. Vlad Elkham's $2. The best way to meet women is through clarity. Yeah, it is. I've gotten you laid, what, 2 or 3 times now? The blue. Hey, happy birthday, Doc. Are you the big 50 yet? Subscribe to Doc if you would. Did I get you a shower curtain? You keep bringing that up. Caputa Taylors. Andre Sierra, $5. Who would have thought that combining smartphones with social media and dating apps would destroy society? And now Neuralink. What could go wrong? Well, it's kind of funny. Oh, the Russians are going to attack. Oh, the Chinese. It's like, nope. It's social media. It's capitalism. It's economic production. It's technology. And then that afforded a welfare state. And then women are like, we never really liked you all that much to begin with. And you're like, no, you can't say that. I'm like, well, look at their behavior. Everyone says that this book of numbers is pessimistic. I'm like, look, well, number one, it's numbers. But number two, what would a world look like where women like men? What would that look like? They would first consider what men wanted. And then a certain percentage of them would deliver that. So women would wear, not out of compunction, not out, I need a man to survive. They would be like, oh, I like guys. They would they would say, first step, what do guys want? They don't even get to that step. I already bitching and whining that you guys like thin women. But what it would look like in a world where women be in shape, they would say, oh, men are sexual. They want to look good. It's no sweat off my back. I mean, okay, I'll diet. I'll be, I mean, it is working out, but philosophically, well, guys, someone likes blueberry pie. I'm like, well, okay, you can eat blueberry pie. You want me to make you a blueberry pie? All right, if it makes you happy, here's your blueberry pie. They'd say, okay, what do men want? They want this. Okay, I'm going to go diet. I'm going to do this. They want, I don't know. They like sex. That sex would be much more common. They want me not to nag or talk too much, or if I am going to talk about something, it'd be something interesting. Oh, they like sports. Well, to get the guy, maybe I'll act like I like sports and I'll go to where the guys are. And here's the main one. If girls really like guys as much, they'd be asking you out as much. They don't like you that much. It would be it'd be a world we probably never experienced. Maybe the only time you saw that experience was like when the few men that were still alive after World War I came back in 1918. It'd be a fascinating study. Like, oh my God, there are no men, and now they're making you pies and being really nice and all that. I'm unfortunately, I don't think anyone's alive from that era, but it would be different than what we have now. You could theorize in your mind what it would be like. Well, they'd be nice, they'd be thin, they wouldn't be all lined up banging on our doors. They wouldn't be desperate, but they'd be, hey, do you want to go out? Yeah, let's go out. Oh, cool. That's great. They wouldn't stand you up. So, I think the technology merely exposed what was already there. They don't really like you that much. Not old chick. Correct. Chris is not here. The tornado chasing kid, $2. Enjoy the decline was a playbook. It was. Man, I'm ahead of my time. I'm so ahead of my time. Brandon, $2 Australian. I'm currently enjoying the decline. Good. There's nothing else to look. I know you guys might want girls or had some kind of plans. Well, if it happens, it happens. In the meantime, go out and have fun, guys. You just, I don't know, dock cycles. I'm gonna go get some food today. I'm gonna have a cigar, go play some poker. I mean, and sometimes you can do charity. I know a lot of you, it's shocking to you, but I do charity. I started a foundation called Atham Needs Friends, but we don't want to be his friends.org, but be his friend anyway.org. You got to have charity. You're like, oh God, look at this sad Mexican guy. Somebody better befriend him. Do we have to be his real friend? No, just say nice things to him. Just say nice things. Brian Dupree, $2. Oh, look, Brian's out there as always hiking. The apps work. Study/capitalize on the algorithm. All right, if they work. But see, here's the thing, Brian. What did you do? What'd you do, Brian? Admit it now. You did the work, didn't you? You're probably a top 5% guy. You look like you're in shape. I'm not saying don't use dating apps if you're in really good shape. Did you know, man? 2 Canadian bucks. Say it, Cappy. I have the power. He-Man. Boom. The Human Fund. Money for people. All right, there you go. See you guys later, Toodles.